Welcome to WooEnglish. Here, we learn English through engaging stories told with clear and simple sentences. This story is not only educational, but also captivating. Before we dive in, remember to leave a comment with your thoughts and hit the like button to support us. Your feedback helps us create more stories like this and helps others discover our content. Now let's get into the story. Chapter 1. A Humble Beginning. Xi Jinping was born in Beijing on June 15, 1953. He was the son of Xi Jinping, a veteran revolutionary who fought alongside Mao Zedong during the Chinese Civil War. Growing up in Beijing, Xi Jinping had a unique perspective on China's political environment, as his father was a prominent member of the Communist Party. As a child, Xi Jinping lived in a simple home in Beijing's Xicheng district, surrounded by other families who were part of the political elite. However, even though he came from a prominent family, his life was not always easy. In fact, it was the tumultuous events in China during the 1960s that would deeply shape his early years. Xi Jinping was just a young boy when the Cultural Revolution began in 1966. This was a period of great chaos and upheaval in China, as Chairman Mao launched a campaign to preserve the communist ideology and purge any elements he considered counter-revolutionary. Xi's father, Xi Jinping, who had previously been an influential figure in the party, was accused of political crimes and imprisoned. This event had a profound impact on Xi Jinping's life. With his father imprisoned, Xi Jinping's family lost their status and security. The young Xi experienced the harsh realities of life under the Cultural Revolution, facing discrimination and exclusion because of his father's political troubles. His family's home was ransacked, and his father's revolutionary background was erased from the history books. At a very young age, Xi Jinping had to adapt to a new reality. His life changed dramatically when, like many other youth at the time, he was sent to the countryside to be re-educated through manual labor. This experience took him away from Beijing's relative comfort and into the rural villages of Shanxi province, where he would live and work with peasants. The life in Shanxi was harsh and demanding. The village was poor, with limited access to resources and modern conveniences. The winters were cold, and the summers were scorching. Despite the challenges, Xi Jinping immersed himself in the local community. He worked alongside farmers, herding sheep and digging wells. These experiences taught him the value of hard work and resilience. It was during these years that he began to develop a deep connection to the common people, which would later influence his leadership style. Living in the countryside also gave Xi Jinping a unique perspective on the struggles of ordinary Chinese people. He saw the difficulties they faced, from a lack of education to limited economic opportunities. These observations fueled his determination to make a difference when he eventually returned to Beijing. While in Shanxi, Xi Jinping continued his education, reading books on Marxism and studying the teachings of Mao Zedong. Despite the political turmoil surrounding him, he maintained a sense of hope and a desire to contribute to China's development. His determination and ability to endure hardship helped him gain respect within the local community. After 7 years in the countryside, Xi Jinping was allowed to return to Beijing and resume his education. He enrolled at Tsinghua University, one of China's most prestigious institutions, where he studied chemical engineering. His experiences in Shanxi had shaped him into a resilient and determined young man, ready to embrace the challenges ahead. As Xi Jinping left the countryside behind and began his journey toward a career in politics, he carried with him the lessons he had learned during those difficult years. The humility and resilience he developed in Shanxi would become key characteristics of his leadership style in the years to come. These early experiences laid the foundation for his future role as one of China's most powerful leaders. Chapter 2: Revolutionary Roots. In the early 1950s, China was undergoing tremendous change. The Chinese Communist Party, CCP, had taken control of the country, and revolutionary leaders were laying the foundation for a new socialist state. Among these leaders was Xi Jinping, a respected revolutionary who had fought alongside Mao Zedong during the Chinese Civil War. His work with the CCP and his close relationship with other top officials made him a significant figure in China's early communist history. His role in the CCP would greatly influence the upbringing of his son, Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping's journey into politics began during the turbulent times of the early 20th century. He was a teenager when he joined the CCP, driven by a passion for creating a fairer society. By the time Mao Zedong led the communists to victory in 1949, Xi Jinping had become a trusted advisor and was instrumental in establishing the new government. As a young boy, Xi Jinping was exposed to stories of revolution and the ideals that had shaped China's new government. His father often shared tales of bravery and sacrifice from the Civil War, emphasizing the importance of loyalty and dedication to the communist cause. This environment left a profound impression on the young Xi Jinping, teaching him that the CCP was more than just a political party. It was a family bonded by shared experiences and goals. However, this revolutionary upbringing came with its challenges. As a child, Xi Jinping lived in a compound reserved for high-ranking party officials. The compound was a world of its own, filled with children of other CCP members. The young Xi Jinping had friends who, like him, were sons and daughters of prominent revolutionaries. Together, they would hear stories of the great communist struggle and grow up in the unique atmosphere of China's revolutionary era. This privileged life didn't last long. The Cultural Revolution, which began in the mid-1960s, turned everything upside down. Xi Jinping, who had been a key member of the party, fell out of favor with Mao Zedong. He was accused of being a traitor and was imprisoned for years. This event transformed Xi Jinping's life. The privileges he once had disappeared, and his family's name was tarnished. Xi Jinping learned early on that power and privilege could be taken away in an instant. His father's imprisonment was a harsh lesson in the realities of politics in China. It also revealed the volatility within the CCP during those years. The very party that had once celebrated Xi Jinping's achievements now considered him an enemy. Xi Jinping's life took a dramatic turn, and his perception of the world changed. When the Cultural Revolution began, Xi Jinping and his family faced public humiliation. He watched as his father's revolutionary status was stripped away, and his family was targeted by Mao's Red Guards. Despite his youth, he quickly understood that his future would not be as easy as he might have thought. It would require resilience, adaptability, and a strong sense of self to navigate the political chaos that surrounded him. Xi Jinping's experiences during the Cultural Revolution forced him to mature quickly. The once secure environment in which he grew up had transformed into one of uncertainty and fear. Even as he watched his father's downfall, he remained determined to prove himself. This inner strength would later become one of his defining characteristics as a leader. Despite the challenges, Xi Jinping didn't abandon his revolutionary roots. He saw that the party was bigger than any one person, even Mao Zedong. His experiences taught him that dedication to the communist cause required personal sacrifice. It also showed him the importance of unity and the dangers of internal conflict. These lessons would later shape his approach to leadership, emphasizing stability and discipline within the CCP. As the Cultural Revolution came to an end, Xi Jinping was released from prison and reinstated in the party. This turn of events reaffirmed Xi Jinping's belief in the resilience of the CCP. Despite the turmoil and political shifts, the party's core values remained intact. Xi Jinping's return to public life also provided his son with a renewed sense of purpose. It showed Xi Jinping that even in the face of adversity, it was possible to overcome and rebuild. The experiences from this period became a foundational part of Xi Jinping's identity. He understood that leadership required more than power. It required an understanding of the party's history and a commitment to its revolutionary ideals. Through these challenging years, he developed a strong sense of loyalty to the CCP and a determination to uphold its values, no matter the cost. Chapter 3: Youth in the Countryside. The year was 1969, and China was in turmoil. The Cultural Revolution, launched by Chairman Mao Zedong, had turned the country upside down. Families like Xi Jinping's, who once enjoyed the prestige of being connected to the Communist Party, now faced discrimination and persecution. Xi Jinping, just a teenager, was about to have his life transformed in ways he could never have imagined. When the Cultural Revolution began, Mao Zedong called on China's youth to learn from the peasants in the countryside. This down to the countryside movement aimed to re-educate young people by having them live and work with farmers in rural areas. Xi Jinping, like millions of other teenagers, was sent away from his home in Beijing. He was only 15 years old when he left the city, heading to a small village in Shanxi province. The journey to Shanxi was long and exhausting. Xi Jinping traveled with other teenagers, many of whom felt lost and scared. They didn't know what to expect, and they were leaving behind the comforts of city life for a much harsher environment. The village where Xi Jinping was sent, Liangjiahe, was remote and far from any modern conveniences. It was a world away from the bustling streets of Beijing. Upon arriving in Liangjiahe, Xi Jinping faced the reality of rural life. The village had no electricity or running water, and the houses were simple mud brick structures. The villagers lived a hard life, working long hours in the fields to grow food. The winters were freezing, and the summers were brutally hot. It was a far cry from the life Xi Jinping had known in Beijing. Xi Jinping's first task in the village was to dig a deep pit that would be used as an outhouse. It was dirty, back-breaking work, but he didn't complain. Instead, he put his head down and got to work, determined to prove himself. The villagers watched him closely, curious about this young city boy who had come to live among them. Over time, Xi Jinping began to earn the respect of the villagers. He worked alongside them, learning their customs and traditions. He helped with the farming, herded sheep, and even learned to cook simple meals. Despite the harsh conditions, he kept a positive attitude and showed a willingness to learn. The villagers noticed his humility and hard work, and they began to accept him as one of their own. Living in the countryside taught Xi Jinping many valuable lessons. He learned the importance of perseverance and resilience. The hard work and long hours in the fields showed him the value of determination. He also saw the struggles of ordinary people and understood their desire for a better life. These experiences would later shape his vision for China's future. One of Xi Jinping's most significant achievements in Liangjiahe was building a well for the village. The villagers had long struggled with a lack of clean water, and Xi Jinping took it upon himself to solve this problem. He organized a group of villagers and led the effort to dig the well. It was a difficult task, but with determination and teamwork, they succeeded. This accomplishment made Xi Jinping a hero in the village, and it showed him the power of collective effort. While in the countryside, Xi Jinping also continued his education. He read books on Marxism and Mao Zedong's teachings, eager to understand the ideologies that shaped China's political landscape. Despite the political chaos around him, he kept his focus on learning and growing. These studies helped him develop a deeper understanding of the Communist Party's goals and ideals. After 7 years in Liangjiahe, Xi Jinping was allowed to return to Beijing. His time in the countryside had transformed him from a city boy into a young man with a deep appreciation for rural life. He had developed the strength and resilience to overcome challenges and had built lasting connections with the people in the village. These experiences laid the foundation for his future in politics, where he would draw on the lessons he learned in Liangjiahe to lead China. As he left the village, Xi Jinping carried with him a new sense of purpose. He had seen the struggles of ordinary people and knew that his role as a leader would be to improve their lives. The years he spent in the countryside were not easy, but they were crucial in shaping the person he would become, a leader with a deep understanding of China's rural communities and a commitment to making a difference. Chapter 4: The Return to Beijing. After 7 years in the countryside, Xi Jinping returned to Beijing in 1975. He was a different person from the teenage boy who had left years earlier. The harsh life in the rural village of Liangjiahe had changed him. He was no longer the privileged son of a high-ranking party official. He had learned resilience, hard work, and humility. Now, back in Beijing, he had to find his way in a city that had moved on without him. Beijing was a bustling city full of energy and change. The Cultural Revolution was ending, and China was entering a new phase. Mao Zedong had died, and the country was beginning to recover from the chaos of the previous decade. People were cautiously optimistic, hoping for a more stable and prosperous future. In this environment, Xi Jinping prepared to continue his education. Xi Jinping applied to study at Tsinghua University, one of China's most prestigious schools. Getting into Tsinghua was not easy. It required intelligence and determination. Despite his family's past troubles, Xi Jinping was accepted, a sign that the political climate was starting to change. At Tsinghua, he would study chemical engineering, a field that required both scientific knowledge and practical skills. When Xi Jinping arrived at Tsinghua, he quickly discovered that university life was very different from life in the countryside. The campus was large, with modern buildings and well-equipped laboratories. There were students from all over China, each with their own background and story. Some were from families connected to the Communist Party, while others were from ordinary working-class families. The diversity on campus created a dynamic and lively atmosphere. In his classes, Xi Jinping focused on his studies, showing the same determination that had helped him survive in Liangjiahe. He spent hours in the library reading about engineering and other subjects that interested him. Despite the challenges, he enjoyed learning and was eager to expand his knowledge. His time in the countryside had given him a unique perspective, and he brought that perspective to his studies. While at Tsinghua, Xi Jinping also made friends with other students. He was known for being approachable and down-to-earth, qualities that made him popular among his classmates. He joined student groups and participated in campus activities, always eager to connect with others. These friendships would later play a role in his political career, as many of his classmates would go on to become influential figures in China. Beyond academics, Xi Jinping was interested in politics and the direction China was taking. He knew that the country was at a crossroads, and he wanted to be part of its future. While studying at Tsinghua, he joined the Communist Party, a significant step for someone whose family had been targeted during the Cultural Revolution. This decision showed his commitment to the party's ideals and his determination to contribute to China's development. During his time at Tsinghua, Xi Jinping witnessed significant changes in China's political landscape. The Communist Party was undergoing reform, moving away from the radical policies of the Cultural Revolution. Deng Xiaoping, a key leader in the new government, was introducing economic reforms that would transform China into a more open and market-oriented society. These changes created new opportunities for young people like Xi Jinping, who saw a future where China could grow and prosper. As Xi Jinping continued his studies, he developed a broader understanding of the world. He learned about other countries and cultures, gaining insights into how China could engage with the global community. This knowledge would be valuable in his later career as he worked to strengthen China's position on the international stage. By the time Xi Jinping graduated from Tsinghua University in 1979, he was ready to embark on his career in politics. He had gained a solid education, made valuable connections, and developed a vision for China's future. The lessons he had learned in the countryside, combined with the knowledge he gained at Tsinghua, would guide him as he navigated the complex world of Chinese politics. As Xi Jinping left the university behind, he knew that the road ahead would not be easy. The Communist Party was still recovering from the upheaval of the Cultural Revolution, and China's economy was just beginning to open up. However, he was determined to make a difference, to use his education and experiences to contribute to China's growth and development. Chapter 5. Early Political Career. Xi Jinping began his political career in the early 1980s. Fresh out of university, he was eager to make a difference in China's rapidly changing landscape. After graduating from Tsinghua University, he faced a choice: follow a typical career path or dive into the world of politics, where his father, Xi Jinping, had once thrived. Xi Jinping chose politics, determined to carve out his own path while staying true to the ideals he grew up with. His first political role was in Hebei province, a region known for its agriculture and industry. Hebei was a far cry from Beijing's bustling city life. The province had vast farmlands and factories that powered much of China's economy. Xi Jinping's initial job was in Zhengding County, where he worked as a secretary for the party committee. This position involved supporting the local leadership and ensuring that party policies were carried out effectively. In Zhengding, Xi Jinping faced many challenges. The county was struggling with outdated infrastructure, limited resources, and a lack of economic opportunities. His task was to help improve the local economy and support the residents. Instead of shying away from these difficulties, he embraced them, eager to prove himself as a capable leader. Xi Jinping understood that this was his opportunity to demonstrate his commitment to the Communist Party and his ability to make a real difference. One of his first initiatives in Zhengding was to revitalize the local tourism industry. He saw potential in the county's historical sites and believed they could attract visitors from other parts of China. By promoting tourism, he hoped to bring more income to the region and create jobs for the locals. His plan worked. Zhengding's tourism industry grew, and the local economy began to improve. This success earned Xi Jinping recognition as a forward-thinking leader who could bring new ideas to the table. But Xi Jinping's work in Hebei wasn't just about tourism. He also focused on supporting local farmers and improving agricultural practices. He introduced modern techniques that helped increase crop yields and reduce waste. By working closely with the farmers, he gained their trust and respect. They saw him as someone who genuinely cared about their well-being, not just as a party official. After his successful stint in Hebei, Xi Jinping's career continued to advance. In 1985, he moved to Fujian Province, a region in southeastern China known for its coastal cities and vibrant economy. This move was a significant step forward, as Fujian was becoming an important hub for China's opening up policies. Xi Jinping took on various roles in Fujian, each with more responsibility than the last. In Fujian, Xi Jinping's leadership style continued to evolve. He was known for his practical approach and ability to get things done. He believed in listening to the people and understanding their needs before making decisions. This approach helped him connect with the local population, building strong relationships with business leaders, farmers, and workers. His ability to communicate effectively and solve problems quickly became his trademark. One of Xi Jinping's notable achievements in Fujian was his focus on attracting foreign investment. He recognized that Fujian's coastal location made it ideal for international trade. By encouraging foreign companies to invest in the region, he helped boost the local economy and create new opportunities for employment. His efforts paid off, and Fujian's economy flourished, with more businesses setting up operations in the province. Xi Jinping's success in Fujian also came from his emphasis on anti-corruption. He understood that corruption could undermine the party's credibility and harm the people it was meant to serve. In Fujian, he took a strong stand against corruption, ensuring that officials who abused their power were held accountable. This strict approach to maintaining integrity within the party gained him respect and further solidified his reputation as a dedicated and principled leader. As Xi Jinping's career progressed in Fujian, he began to gain national attention. His achievements in Hebei and Fujian demonstrated that he was a capable leader with a clear vision for China's future. By focusing on economic growth, innovation, and anti-corruption, he showed that he could bring positive change to any region he worked in. His leadership style was both firm and adaptable, allowing him to navigate the complex political landscape with ease. Xi Jinping's early political career in Hebei and Fujian laid the groundwork for his future rise to the top. His experiences in these provinces taught him the importance of staying connected to the people and finding practical solutions to real problems. These qualities would become the cornerstone of his leadership style, guiding him through the challenging years ahead as he continued to climb the ranks of the Communist Party. Chapter 6. Rise through the ranks. Xi Jinping's early career in the Communist Party was just the beginning of a long journey to the top. His steady rise through the ranks was marked by a series of key projects and assignments that showcased his leadership skills and dedication to the party's principles. These projects allowed him to demonstrate his commitment to economic reform and party discipline, laying the foundation for his eventual leadership of China. After his success in Fujian province, Xi Jinping moved to Zhejiang province in the early 2000s. Zhejiang was a rapidly growing region with a vibrant economy and a thriving private sector. The province was known for its entrepreneurs and innovative business practices, making it a critical area for China's economic development. As the new party secretary of Zhejiang, Xi Jinping had a significant role in shaping the province's future. In Zhejiang, Xi Jinping's leadership style became more refined. He understood the importance of balancing economic growth with social stability. His focus was on encouraging entrepreneurship and supporting small businesses while maintaining party control and discipline. This approach resonated with the people of Zhejiang, who appreciated his practical and results-oriented mindset. One of Xi Jinping's key projects in Zhejiang was the development of the Zhejiang model. This initiative aimed to create a more business-friendly environment, attracting investment and promoting economic growth. Xi encouraged local governments to be more flexible and responsive to the needs of entrepreneurs. He also promoted innovation and technology, recognizing their role in driving economic progress. The Zhejiang model quickly gained attention across China. It demonstrated that a region could achieve rapid economic growth while adhering to Communist Party principles. Xi Jinping's success in implementing this model earned him national recognition and respect within the party. His ability to balance economic development with party discipline became one of his defining characteristics. In addition to his work on economic reforms, Xi Jinping also focused on maintaining party discipline in Zhejiang. He understood that corruption and lack of accountability could undermine the party's credibility and harm the people it was meant to serve. To combat this, he implemented strict anti-corruption measures, ensuring that party officials who engaged in corrupt practices were held accountable. This approach sent a clear message that the Communist Party would not tolerate misconduct. Xi Jinping's strict stance on anti-corruption gained him a reputation as a leader who valued integrity and discipline. His efforts in Zhejiang set a standard for other regions to follow, reinforcing the importance of party discipline across China. This focus on accountability and transparency helped build trust among the people and further solidified Xi Jinping's position within the party. As Xi Jinping continued to rise through the ranks, his reputation as a competent and effective leader grew. In 2007, he was appointed Party Secretary of Shanghai, one of China's most important and influential cities. This appointment was a significant milestone in his career, as it placed him in charge of a major economic hub and a key center of political power. In Shanghai, Xi Jinping continued his focus on economic reform and party discipline. He worked to improve the city's business environment, attract foreign investment, and promote innovation. At the same time, he maintained a strict approach to anti-corruption, ensuring that party officials in Shanghai adhered to high standards of conduct. His leadership in Shanghai further demonstrated his ability to manage complex political and economic challenges. Xi Jinping's time in Shanghai was brief, but it was a crucial stepping stone in his rise to the top. His success in managing one of China's most dynamic cities showed that he could handle significant responsibilities and lead effectively. His work in Shanghai earned him a place on the Standing Committee of the Communist Party, the highest decision-making body in China. This promotion marked the beginning of Xi Jinping's ascent to the highest levels of power. Throughout his rise within the Communist Party, Xi Jinping's focus on economic reforms and party discipline remained constant. He understood that China's future depended on a strong economy and a stable political environment. His leadership style, characterized by pragmatism and a commitment to party principles, set him apart from other leaders. By consistently delivering results and maintaining a strict approach to party discipline, he gained the trust and support of his colleagues and the people. As Xi Jinping moved closer to the top, he knew that the challenges would only grow more complex. However, his experiences in Zhejiang and Shanghai had prepared him for the road ahead. He had proven himself as a capable leader, able to balance economic growth with party discipline. This combination of skills and his steady rise through the ranks would ultimately lead him to the highest office in China, where he would shape the country's future for years to come. Chapter 7. Governor of Fujian. In 1999, Xi Jinping became the governor of Fujian, a coastal province in southeastern China, known for its beautiful landscapes, bustling ports, and vibrant economy. This role was a significant milestone in his career, as it allowed him to take on greater responsibilities and implement his vision for economic growth and reform. As governor, Xi Jinping would introduce innovative policies that helped boost the local economy and attract foreign investment, earning him recognition as a forward-thinking leader. Fujian had long been a gateway for international trade. With its proximity to Taiwan and its access to the South China Sea, the province was well positioned to benefit from China's opening up policies. Xi Jinping understood the strategic importance of Fujian and was determined to make the most of it. His approach to governance was practical and results-oriented, focusing on policies that would bring tangible benefits to the people. One of Xi Jinping's key initiatives as governor was to encourage foreign investment in Fujian. He recognized that attracting international companies could help boost the local economy and create jobs. To achieve this, he implemented policies that made it easier for foreign businesses to set up operations in the province. He simplified regulations, reduced bureaucratic red tape, and offered incentives to companies willing to invest in Fujian. These efforts paid off. Foreign companies began to see Fujian as an attractive location for their businesses. The province's economy grew, and new industries emerged. Xi Jinping's focus on creating a business-friendly environment helped Fujian become one of China's leading regions for international trade and investment. His innovative approach to governance earned him praise from both local officials and business leaders. In addition to attracting foreign investment, Xi Jinping also focused on boosting Fujian's domestic economy. He supported local entrepreneurs and encouraged the growth of small businesses. He understood that a thriving local economy was essential for the province's long-term success. By fostering a spirit of entrepreneurship, he helped create a vibrant business community in Fujian. Xi Jinping's emphasis on economic growth went hand in hand with his commitment to party discipline. As governor, he took a strict approach to anti-corruption, ensuring that officials who abused their power were held accountable. This focus on integrity and transparency was a key part of his leadership style. He believed that a well-functioning government required honest and disciplined officials, and he was determined to set a high standard in Fujian. During his time as governor, Xi Jinping also prioritized environmental protection. He understood that rapid economic growth could have negative impacts on the environment, and he wanted to ensure that Fujian's natural beauty was preserved. He implemented policies to reduce pollution, protect forests, and promote sustainable development. His efforts to balance economic growth with environmental responsibility reflected his forward-thinking approach to governance. Xi Jinping's leadership style in Fujian was characterized by his ability to connect with the people. He frequently visited local communities, listening to their concerns and understanding their needs. This approach helped him build strong relationships with the residents of Fujian, who saw him as a leader who cared about their well-being. His willingness to engage with ordinary people set him apart from other officials who remained distant from the public. One of Xi Jinping's most significant achievements as governor was his role in developing the Western Taiwan Straits Economic Zone. This initiative aimed to strengthen economic ties between Fujian and Taiwan, promoting trade and cultural exchanges. Xi Jinping believed that closer cooperation with Taiwan could bring economic benefits to Fujian and contribute to cross-strait stability. The success of this initiative demonstrated his strategic vision and ability to navigate complex political landscapes. As governor, Xi Jinping's innovative policies and commitment to economic growth helped Fujian become one of China's most dynamic provinces. His emphasis on attracting foreign investment, supporting local businesses, and promoting sustainable development contributed to the province's success. His leadership style, characterized by a focus on results and a strong sense of discipline, earned him respect and recognition within the Communist Party. By the time Xi Jinping's term as governor of Fujian ended in 2002, he had left a lasting impact on the province. His policies had transformed Fujian into a thriving economic hub, attracting businesses and investment from around the world. His commitment to party discipline and anti-corruption had set a high standard for other officials to follow. And his ability to connect with the people had made him a popular leader who was admired for his dedication and integrity. Chapter 8. Leading in Zhejiang. In 2002, Xi Jinping was appointed Party Secretary of Zhejiang Province, a region in eastern China known for its vibrant economy and thriving entrepreneurial spirit. Zhejiang was home to bustling cities, picturesque landscapes, and a dynamic business community that drove much of China's economic growth. Xi Jinping's role as party secretary was a significant responsibility, as he would be overseeing one of the most economically active provinces in the country. When Xi Jinping arrived in Zhejiang, he saw a province full of energy and ambition. Entrepreneurs and business leaders in the region were always on the lookout for new opportunities, and the province had a reputation for innovation and creativity. As party secretary, Xi Jinping was responsible for guiding this dynamic economy while ensuring that party policies and principles were upheld. One of Xi Jinping's primary focuses in Zhejiang was to promote entrepreneurship and support business development. He understood that a strong economy was essential for the province's prosperity, and he was determined to create an environment where businesses could thrive. To achieve this, he implemented policies that encouraged innovation and provided support for startups and small enterprises. His goal was to make Zhejiang a leader in economic development, setting an example for other regions to follow. Xi Jinping's approach to leadership in Zhejiang was practical and results-oriented. He believed in getting things done and delivering tangible outcomes. He often met with local business leaders to understand their needs and concerns. This hands-on approach helped him build strong relationships with the business community, who appreciated his willingness to listen and take action. He encouraged open communication and collaboration, fostering a sense of partnership between the government and the private sector. Under Xi Jinping's leadership, Zhejiang's economy continued to grow. The province attracted new investments, and businesses flourished. The manufacturing sector, which was a significant part of Zhejiang's economy, experienced a boost as companies adopted modern technologies and expanded their operations. Xi Jinping's support for innovation played a crucial role in driving this growth, as he encouraged businesses to embrace new ideas and explore emerging markets. However, Xi Jinping's focus on economic growth did not come at the expense of party discipline. He understood that maintaining the party's principles was essential for long-term stability. As party secretary, he took a strict approach to anti-corruption, ensuring that officials who abused their power were held accountable. This emphasis on integrity and discipline was a key aspect of his leadership style, and it resonated with the people of Zhejiang, who valued honesty and transparency in government. Xi Jinping's efforts in Zhejiang also extended to social and cultural development. He believed that a thriving economy should benefit everyone, not just business owners and entrepreneurs. To achieve this, he supported initiatives that improved education, healthcare, and social welfare. He wanted to ensure that the people of Zhejiang had access to quality services and opportunities for personal growth. One of Xi Jinping's notable achievements in Zhejiang was his role in promoting the development of high-tech industries. He saw the potential for technology and innovation to drive economic growth, and he encouraged businesses to invest in research and development. This focus on high-tech industries helped Zhejiang become a hub for technology companies, attracting talent and investment from across China and around the world. As Xi Jinping continued to lead Zhejiang, his reputation as a capable and effective leader grew. His ability to balance economic growth with party discipline and social development earned him respect within the Communist Party and among the people of Zhejiang. He was known for his pragmatic approach and his commitment to achieving real results. Xi Jinping's success in Zhejiang was not without its challenges. The province's rapid economic growth brought its own set of problems, including environmental issues and social inequality. Xi Jinping addressed these challenges by implementing policies to promote sustainable development and reduce pollution. He also worked to bridge the gap between rich and poor, ensuring that the benefits of economic growth were shared more broadly. By the time Xi Jinping's tenure as party secretary of Zhejiang ended in 2007, he had left a lasting impact on the province. His policies had transformed Zhejiang into a dynamic and innovative region, attracting businesses and investment from around the world. His commitment to party discipline and anti-corruption had set a high standard for other officials to follow. And his emphasis on social development and environmental sustainability showed that economic growth could go hand in hand with a better quality of life for everyone. Chapter 9. A New Path in Shanghai. In March 2007, Xi Jinping was appointed Party Secretary of Shanghai, China's largest city and a crucial financial hub. This role was a significant milestone in his political career, as it placed him in charge of a city that was not only an economic powerhouse, but also a key center of political power. Despite his short tenure in Shanghai, Xi Jinping's approach to city governance and his focus on anti-corruption measures made a lasting impact. Shanghai was a bustling metropolis with a rich history and a dynamic economy. It was home to skyscrapers, financial institutions, and a vibrant cultural scene. The city's position as a gateway to international business made it a critical location for China's economic development. As party secretary, Xi Jinping was responsible for overseeing the city's governance and ensuring that it continued to thrive. When Xi Jinping arrived in Shanghai, the city was recovering from a major corruption scandal. The previous party secretary had been removed from his position due to corruption charges, casting a shadow over Shanghai's political leadership. Xi Jinping's appointment was seen as a move to restore integrity and stability to the city's government. He understood that his primary task was to rebuild trust and ensure that the party's values were upheld. Xi Jinping's approach to city governance in Shanghai was pragmatic and focused on results. He believed in efficient administration and effective decision-making. His leadership style emphasized the importance of accountability and discipline within the party. To combat corruption, he implemented strict anti-corruption measures, sending a clear message that misconduct would not be tolerated. This focus on integrity and transparency was a key aspect of his tenure in Shanghai, and it resonated with the people and officials in the city. In addition to his anti-corruption efforts, Xi Jinping also focused on improving the city's economic environment. Shanghai was known for its fast-paced business scene, and Xi Jinping was determined to keep it thriving. He worked to attract foreign investment and promote international trade, recognizing that these were essential for the city's growth. His efforts to boost the economy helped Shanghai maintain its position as a leading financial hub in China. Despite his short tenure, Xi Jinping made a point to connect with the people of Shanghai. He frequently visited local communities, talking to residents and understanding their concerns. This hands-on approach helped him build relationships with ordinary people, who appreciated his willingness to engage with them. He believed that good governance required listening to the people and addressing their needs, and he made this a priority during his time in Shanghai. One of Xi Jinping's significant achievements in Shanghai was his role in preparing the city for the World Expo, scheduled for 2010. The World Expo was a major international event that would attract visitors from around the world. Xi Jinping's task was to ensure that Shanghai was ready to host such a large-scale event. He worked closely with city officials to plan and organize the expo, focusing on infrastructure development and logistics. His leadership in this project demonstrated his ability to manage complex tasks and coordinate efforts on a large scale. Xi Jinping's tenure in Shanghai, although brief, was marked by his emphasis on anti-corruption and effective governance. His strict approach to maintaining party discipline helped restore trust in the city's leadership, which had been shaken by the corruption scandal. His focus on economic growth and international trade contributed to Shanghai's continued success as a financial center. By October 2007, Xi Jinping's tenure in Shanghai came to an end. His success in the city had earned him national recognition, and he was appointed to the Standing Committee of the Communist Party, the highest decision-making body in China. This promotion marked the beginning of his ascent to the top levels of power in the party, setting the stage for his future role as General Secretary and President of China. Chapter 10: The Call to the Top. By 2007, Xi Jinping's career had reached a turning point. His successful leadership in Zhejiang and Shanghai had earned him recognition within the Communist Party of China, CPC. His reputation as a capable, pragmatic, and disciplined leader positioned him for even greater responsibilities. In October of that year, Xi Jinping was appointed to the Standing Committee of the Politburo, the highest decision-making body in the CPC. This move marked his official entrance into the top echelons of Chinese politics. The appointment to the Standing Committee wasn't just a promotion, it was an indication that the party's leadership saw Xi Jinping as a rising star with the potential to guide China's future. The Standing Committee consisted of only a handful of members, each responsible for key aspects of governance. Being part of this group meant that Xi Jinping would have a say in the most critical decisions affecting China's direction. His appointment came during a time of transition within the CPC. Hu Jintao was the General Secretary of the party, and his administration focused on collective leadership and cautious reform. The CPC was navigating a period of rapid economic growth, but it also faced challenges, including corruption, social inequality, and environmental issues. In this context, Xi Jinping's role on the Standing Committee was to bring fresh ideas and energy to the leadership while maintaining the party's stability and unity. One of Xi Jinping's first tasks on the Standing Committee was to establish his vision for China's future. He knew that his role required both diplomacy and assertiveness. He had to work within the collective leadership structure while also making his mark. His approach was characterized by a focus on party discipline, anti-corruption measures, and strengthening the party's control over key aspects of governance. Xi Jinping's emphasis on anti-corruption was a key part of his early efforts on the Standing Committee. He had seen the damage that corruption could cause, especially during his time in Shanghai, where a major scandal had rocked the city's leadership. He believed that a strong party required discipline and accountability, and he was determined to set a high standard. His strict stance on anti-corruption gained him respect among his colleagues and the public, who were increasingly concerned about the spread of corruption within the CPC. Another aspect of Xi Jinping's vision for China's future was his commitment to the party's ideological roots. He believed that the CPC's core principles should guide its decisions and policies. This emphasis on ideology was not just about maintaining tradition, it was also a way to ensure the party's cohesion and stability. Xi Jinping knew that the CPC's strength lay in its unity, and he worked to reinforce the party's ideological foundations. As Xi Jinping settled into his role on the Standing Committee, he also focused on building alliances and gaining support within the party. He understood that effective leadership required a strong network of allies and supporters. He cultivated relationships with other influential party members, gaining their trust and confidence. This ability to build alliances was crucial for his future rise to the top. Xi Jinping's role on the Standing Committee also involved overseeing key areas of governance. He was responsible for organizing major party events, such as the National People's Congress, and ensuring that party policies were implemented effectively. This role gave him a broader perspective on China's political landscape and allowed him to play a more active role in shaping the party's direction. During this time, Xi Jinping's leadership style continued to evolve. He was known for his calm demeanor and ability to navigate complex political situations. He was also skilled at managing crises and making tough decisions when necessary. These qualities made him a valuable member of the Standing Committee, and his influence within the party grew as he took on more responsibilities. As Xi Jinping's tenure on the Standing Committee progressed, he began to emerge as a potential successor to Hu Jintao. The CPC's leadership transition was carefully orchestrated, and Xi Jinping's steady rise through the ranks indicated that he was being groomed for the top position. His focus on party discipline, anti-corruption, and ideological cohesion made him a strong candidate for the role of General Secretary. By the time the CPC's 18th National Congress approached in 2012, it was clear that Xi Jinping was on the path to becoming China's next leader. His appointment to the Standing Committee had set the stage for his eventual rise to the highest office in the party. The transition would bring new challenges and responsibilities, but Xi Jinping's journey from the countryside to the pinnacle of Chinese politics had prepared him for the road ahead. Chapter 11. Becoming General Secretary. In 2012, Xi Jinping stood on the cusp of a remarkable achievement, becoming General Secretary of the Communist Party of China, CPC. This role would make him the most powerful person in China, responsible for leading a country with over 1 billion people. Xi's ascent to this position was the culmination of decades of hard work, strategic maneuvering, and a deep understanding of the party's inner workings. It was also a significant moment of transition, as the CPC prepared to hand over the reins of power to a new generation of leaders. The process of becoming General Secretary began with the CPC's 18th National Congress in November 2012. This event was a major gathering of party members where the party's leadership transition would take place. As the Congress approached, there was considerable speculation about who would succeed Hu Jintao as General Secretary. Xi Jinping's steady rise through the party ranks and his recent role on the Standing Committee positioned him as a leading candidate. Xi Jinping's appointment as General Secretary marked a turning point for the CPC. He was taking over at a time when the party faced significant challenges, including corruption, social inequality, and environmental degradation. To address these issues, Xi Jinping implemented a series of internal changes aimed at consolidating power and strengthening party discipline. One of the first changes Xi Jinping made as General Secretary was to establish a stricter approach to party discipline. He understood that corruption had eroded public trust in the party and that restoring that trust would require decisive action. Xi Jinping launched an anti-corruption campaign, targeting officials at all levels of the party. The campaign's slogan, "Tigers and Flies," signified that no one, regardless of rank, was above scrutiny. This approach sent a strong message that the party would not tolerate corruption, and it gained widespread public support. Xi Jinping's anti-corruption campaign led to the investigation and punishment of numerous high-ranking officials, some of whom had been considered untouchable. This bold move consolidated Xi Jinping's power by removing potential rivals and reinforcing his commitment to party discipline. The campaign's success also bolstered his popularity among ordinary Chinese citizens, who saw it as a necessary step to restore integrity within the party. In addition to his anti-corruption efforts, Xi Jinping focused on strengthening the party's ideological foundations. He believed that a strong party required a clear understanding of its core principles and a commitment to its revolutionary roots. Xi Jinping emphasized the importance of Marxism-Leninism and Mao Zedong thought, urging party members to stay true to the CPC's original ideals. This emphasis on ideology was not just about maintaining tradition. It was also a way to ensure unity and cohesion within the party. As General Secretary, Xi Jinping introduced internal changes to centralize power and streamline decision-making. He restructured the party's leadership to give himself greater control over key areas of governance. This consolidation of power allowed him to implement his vision for China's future more effectively. It also reduced the influence of rival factions within the party, ensuring that his policies would be carried out without resistance. Xi Jinping's leadership style as General Secretary was characterized by his focus on stability and discipline. He believed that a strong party required firm leadership and a clear sense of direction. His approach to governance was pragmatic and results-oriented, emphasizing the importance of efficiency and accountability. This leadership style resonated with party members and the Chinese public, who appreciated his no-nonsense approach to addressing the country's challenges. As Xi Jinping consolidated power, he also worked to strengthen China's international position. He believed that China's growing influence on the global stage required a unified and disciplined party. To achieve this, he promoted the Chinese dream, a concept that emphasized national rejuvenation, prosperity, and strength. The Chinese dream became a central theme of Xi Jinping's leadership, guiding China's domestic and foreign policies. Throughout his early years as General Secretary, Xi Jinping's focus on internal changes and party discipline set the tone for his tenure. His anti-corruption campaign, emphasis on ideological cohesion and consolidation of power laid the groundwork for his broader vision for China's future. These internal changes allowed him to implement his policies more effectively and pursue his long-term goals for the party and the country. Chapter 12. President of China. On March 14, 2013, Xi Jinping was officially named President of China, marking the beginning of a new era in Chinese politics. This role, coupled with his position as General Secretary of the Communist Party of China, CPC, gave him significant power and influence. The world watched closely as Xi Jinping took on this new role, curious about the direction he would take China and his approach to domestic and foreign policy. Xi Jinping's presidency began with a clear message to the Chinese people. His focus would be on reviving China's national spirit and achieving the Chinese dream. This concept, which became a central theme of his leadership, was about China's rejuvenation, prosperity, and strength. It encompassed both individual aspirations and the broader goal of national greatness. By invoking the Chinese dream, Xi Jinping aimed to inspire a sense of pride and unity among the Chinese people. In his early years as president, Xi Jinping prioritized domestic policies that would strengthen China's economy and improve the quality of life for its citizens. He introduced reforms aimed at reducing bureaucratic red tape and promoting innovation. This approach resonated with the Chinese public, who saw it as a step toward a more efficient and responsive government. Xi Jinping's focus on economic growth and modernization was part of his broader vision for a prosperous and stable China. One of Xi Jinping's key initiatives during his presidency was the continuation of his anti-corruption campaign. Having launched this campaign as General Secretary, he was determined to root out corruption at all levels of government. The anti-corruption campaign, known for its Tigers and Flies slogan, targeted both high-ranking officials and lower-level bureaucrats. The campaign's impact was significant, leading to the investigation and punishment of numerous party members. Xi Jinping's strict approach to corruption reinforced his commitment to party discipline and accountability. While focusing on domestic policy, Xi Jinping also made significant moves in China's foreign policy. He sought to strengthen China's position on the global stage, promoting the idea of a new model of major power relations. This concept aimed to foster cooperation and reduce the risk of conflict with other major powers, particularly the United States. Xi Jinping's foreign policy approach was both assertive and diplomatic, balancing China's growing influence with the need for stability in international relations. One of Xi Jinping's major foreign policy initiatives was the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. Announced in 2013, the BRI was a massive infrastructure and trade project designed to connect China with countries across Asia, Europe, and Africa. The initiative involved building roads, railways, ports, and other infrastructure to facilitate trade and economic cooperation. Xi Jinping saw the BRI as a way to expand China's influence and create new opportunities for economic growth. The project was ambitious and attracted global attention, but it also faced criticism and challenges related to transparency and environmental impact. Throughout his presidency, Xi Jinping emphasized the importance of a strong and modern military. He launched reforms to modernize China's armed forces, aiming to make them more efficient and capable of projecting power. His focus on military strength was part of his broader goal of achieving the Chinese dream and establishing China as a leading global power. Xi Jinping's approach to military development was assertive, reflecting his belief that a strong military was essential for China's security and influence. Xi Jinping's presidency was also marked by a focus on ideological control. He believed that maintaining the party's ideological foundations was critical for its stability and longevity. He strengthened the CPC's control over education, media, and other areas of society, ensuring that the party's values were upheld. This emphasis on ideological control was seen as a way to maintain unity within the party and among the Chinese people. While Xi Jinping's presidency brought significant changes to China's domestic and foreign policy, it also faced criticism and challenges. His strict approach to party discipline and ideological control raised concerns about freedom of speech and human rights. Critics argued that his anti-corruption campaign, while effective in rooting out corruption, could be used to target political rivals. Despite these challenges, Xi Jinping's presidency continued to shape China's direction, with his leadership style characterized by pragmatism, discipline, and a focus on the Chinese dream. Chapter 13. One Belt, One Road. In 2013, Xi Jinping announced a bold and ambitious plan that would become his signature foreign policy initiative, the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. This massive project aimed to build a network of trade routes, infrastructure, and economic partnerships connecting China to countries across Asia, Europe, Africa, and beyond. The BRI was envisioned as a modern-day version of the ancient Silk Road, a system of trade routes that had connected China with the rest of the world centuries ago. The announcement of the BRI was met with excitement and curiosity. Xi Jinping's vision for this initiative was grand in scale and ambitious in its goals. He believed that the BRI would not only boost China's economy, but also strengthen its relationships with other countries. By building infrastructure and promoting trade, China could foster cooperation and mutual growth with its global partners. The Belt and Road Initiative consisted of two main components: the Silk Road Economic Belt and the 21st Century Maritime Silk Road. The Silk Road Economic Belt focused on building land-based infrastructure, including roads, railways, and pipelines across Central Asia and into Europe. The 21st Century Maritime Silk Road focused on developing sea routes and ports that would connect China with countries in Southeast Asia, South Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. The scope of the BRI was unprecedented. It involved more than 60 countries and represented trillions of dollars in investment. Xi Jinping's vision for the BRI was to create a new era of globalization, where countries would work together to promote trade, economic development, and cultural exchange. The initiative was also a way for China to expand its influence and establish itself as a global leader in international cooperation. As the BRI began to take shape, China invested heavily in infrastructure projects across participating countries. Railways were built to connect China with Central Asia and Europe, creating new trade routes that would reduce transportation times and costs. Ports were developed along the Maritime Silk Road, facilitating the movement of goods and fostering economic ties with countries in the region. These projects created new opportunities for trade and investment, driving economic growth in many countries. Xi Jinping's vision for the BRI was not just about economic development. It also had a political and strategic dimension. By building strong partnerships with countries along the Belt and Road, China could increase its influence and establish itself as a key player in global politics. The BRI also provided China with access to valuable resources and markets, further enhancing its economic strength. However, the BRI was not without its challenges and controversies. Some critics raised concerns about the environmental impact of large-scale infrastructure projects, while others questioned the transparency and sustainability of the initiative. There were also concerns about the debt burden on participating countries, as many projects were financed through loans from Chinese banks. These challenges highlighted the complexity of the BRI and the need for careful planning and oversight. Despite these challenges, the BRI continued to expand with more countries joining the initiative and more projects being launched. Xi Jinping's vision for the BRI remained focused on promoting cooperation and mutual growth. He believed that the BRI could create a win-win situation where China and its global partners would benefit from increased trade and economic development. This vision resonated with many countries, especially those seeking new opportunities for growth and development. Xi Jinping's leadership style played a significant role in shaping the BRI. His approach was pragmatic and results-oriented, emphasizing the importance of building strong relationships with other countries. He personally traveled to many BRI countries, meeting with leaders and discussing the potential benefits of the initiative. His diplomatic efforts helped to strengthen China's ties with its global partners and promote the BRI's objectives. As the BRI continued to grow, its impact on the global stage became more apparent. The initiative had the potential to reshape international trade and economic relationships, creating new connections between East and West. Xi Jinping's vision for the BRI reflected his broader goal of establishing China as a leading global power, with the ability to influence and shape international affairs. Chapter 14: Strengthening China's Military. Xi Jinping's tenure as General Secretary of the Communist Party of China, CPC, and President of China has been marked by a significant focus on strengthening China's military. This effort to modernize and expand China's armed forces is part of a broader strategy to increase the country's global influence and secure its national interests. In this chapter, we explore Xi Jinping's military reforms, the strategic goals behind these changes, and how they align with China's broader ambitions. China's military, known as the People's Liberation Army, PLA, has a long history of serving as the armed wing of the Communist Party. Since the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949, the PLA has played a crucial role in maintaining internal stability and defending China's borders. However, as China's global influence grew, so did the need for a modern and capable military. Xi Jinping recognized this need and made military reform a central focus of his leadership. One of the first steps Xi Jinping took to strengthen China's military was to launch a comprehensive modernization campaign. This campaign aimed to upgrade the PLA's equipment, technology, and training to meet the demands of modern warfare. Xi Jinping's vision for the PLA was to transform it into a world-class military force capable of projecting power on a global scale. To achieve this, he introduced a series of reforms designed to streamline the military's structure and improve its efficiency. A key component of Xi Jinping's military modernization campaign was the restructuring of the PLA's command structure. He reduced the number of military regions and established a new joint command system, allowing for better coordination among the different branches of the military. This restructuring aimed to create a more flexible and responsive military, capable of adapting to changing strategic needs. Xi Jinping's efforts to modernize the PLA also included significant investments in technology and equipment. He recognized the importance of advanced technology in modern warfare and pushed for the development of cutting-edge weapons systems. This included new fighter jets, naval vessels, and missile systems, all designed to enhance China's military capabilities. By investing in technology, Xi Jinping aimed to ensure that China's military could compete with the most advanced armed forces in the world. In addition to upgrading the PLA's hardware, Xi Jinping focused on improving the training and professionalism of China's military personnel. He emphasized the importance of discipline and loyalty to the Communist Party, reinforcing the PLA's role as the party's armed force. Xi Jinping also introduced new training programs to enhance the skills and readiness of military personnel, ensuring that they were prepared for a wide range of military scenarios. Xi Jinping's military reforms were not only about enhancing China's defense capabilities, they were also part of a broader strategy to increase China's global influence. He believed that a strong military was essential for protecting China's interests and projecting power on the international stage. This strategic goal was reflected in China's expanding military presence in key regions, including the South China Sea and the Indian Ocean. The South China Sea, a critical region for global trade and resource extraction, became a focal point for China's military expansion. Under Xi Jinping's leadership, China built artificial islands and military installations in the region, asserting its territorial claims. This move was met with controversy and tension with neighboring countries, but it underscored China's commitment to securing its strategic interests. Xi Jinping's efforts to increase China's global influence also extended to international peacekeeping and humanitarian missions. The PLA began participating in United Nations peacekeeping operations, demonstrating China's willingness to contribute to global security. This participation helped to improve China's image on the international stage and showed that the country was willing to play a constructive role in maintaining global stability. Despite the successes of Xi Jinping's military reforms, they were not without challenges and criticism. Some observers raised concerns about the PLA's growing assertiveness and the potential for conflict with other countries. There were also questions about the transparency and accountability of China's military, given its close ties to the Communist Party. These challenges highlighted the complexities of China's military modernization and the need for careful management of its strategic goals. Chapter 15: Challenges and Controversies. Xi Jinping's presidency has been marked by a series of challenges and controversies that have shaped his leadership and China's global image. While he has achieved significant milestones in terms of economic growth, military modernization, and foreign policy, his presidency has also faced criticism and scrutiny over issues related to human rights, freedom of speech, and the handling of international disputes. This chapter explores some of the key controversies and challenges during Xi Jinping's presidency and how he navigated these complex issues. One of the most significant challenges Xi Jinping faced during his presidency was the growing concern over human rights in China. Critics pointed to the tightening of control over civil society, the suppression of dissent, and the increasing use of surveillance to monitor the population. The Chinese government's strict approach to maintaining stability raised questions about the balance between security and individual freedoms. Xi Jinping's presidency saw a significant crackdown on activists, lawyers, and journalists who were perceived as threats to the Communist Party's control. The authorities detained and prosecuted individuals who spoke out against the government, often using vague charges related to national security. This approach, while aimed at maintaining social stability, drew criticism from human rights organizations and international observers who viewed it as a violation of basic human rights. One of the most notable examples of this crackdown was the case of the 709 crackdown, which began in July 2015. The Chinese government detained over 200 human rights lawyers and activists, many of whom were held without trial or legal representation. The crackdown sent a clear message that dissent would not be tolerated, reinforcing Xi Jinping's emphasis on maintaining party discipline and social stability. Freedom of speech also became a contentious issue during Xi Jinping's presidency. The Chinese government increased its control over the media and the internet, implementing strict censorship measures to prevent the spread of information deemed harmful to the party's interests. Social media platforms were closely monitored, and online content that criticized the government was quickly removed. The government's strict control over information raised concerns about freedom of expression and the ability of Chinese citizens to access unbiased news and information. Another significant challenge during Xi Jinping's presidency was the handling of international disputes, particularly in the South China Sea. China asserted its territorial claims in the region by building artificial islands and establishing military installations. This assertive approach led to tensions with neighboring countries, including Vietnam, the Philippines, and Malaysia, as well as with the United States, which conducted freedom of navigation operations in the area. The South China Sea dispute highlighted the complexity of Xi Jinping's foreign policy. While he aimed to strengthen China's global influence, his assertive approach risked escalating conflicts with other countries. Despite international criticism and legal rulings against China's claims, Xi Jinping remained steadfast in his position, emphasizing China's historical rights to the region and the importance of protecting its strategic interests. Xi Jinping's handling of international disputes extended beyond the South China Sea. His presidency saw increased tensions with the United States, particularly during the administration of President Donald Trump. Trade disputes and geopolitical rivalries added to the challenges facing Xi Jinping's foreign policy. The US-China trade war, characterized by tariffs and retaliatory measures, underscored the complexities of maintaining stable international relations while pursuing China's economic and strategic goals. In response to these challenges and controversies, Xi Jinping navigated a delicate balance between asserting China's interests and maintaining stability. He emphasized the importance of party discipline and ideological control, reinforcing the need for a unified and cohesive Communist Party. His strict approach to maintaining stability and security was seen as essential for protecting China's long-term goals, even if it meant curbing individual freedoms and drawing criticism from the international community. While Xi Jinping's presidency has faced significant controversies and challenges, his leadership style remained focused on achieving the Chinese dream, a vision of national rejuvenation, prosperity, and strength. Despite criticism and scrutiny, he continued to push forward with his agenda, believing that a strong and stable China was essential for achieving the country's broader ambitions. Chapter 16: A New Era for China. Xi Jinping's leadership marked the beginning of a new era for China. His vision for the country's future, known as the Chinese Dream, encompassed national rejuvenation, prosperity, and strength. As he continued to lead China, Xi Jinping outlined long-term goals for economic development, technology, and the environment. This chapter explores his broader ideological framework and the impact it has had on Chinese society. Xi Jinping's Chinese Dream was a central theme of his leadership. It represented a call for national unity and a vision for China's rise to global prominence. The Chinese Dream was about achieving collective prosperity and personal success, but it was also about restoring China's historical greatness. This vision resonated with many Chinese citizens, inspiring a sense of pride and purpose. Economic development was a critical component of Xi Jinping's vision for China's future. He recognized that a strong economy was essential for national rejuvenation and stability. To achieve this, he continued the economic reforms initiated by his predecessors, focusing on innovation and modernization. He promoted the development of high-tech industries, such as artificial intelligence and robotics, with the goal of making China a global leader in technology. Xi Jinping's emphasis on technology and innovation was part of his broader strategy to transform China into a knowledge-based economy. He encouraged research and development, supporting the growth of technology companies and startups. This focus on innovation aimed to drive economic growth and create new opportunities for Chinese workers. By investing in technology, Xi Jinping hoped to reduce China's dependence on traditional manufacturing and move toward a more sustainable and advanced economy. In addition to technology, Xi Jinping also emphasized the importance of environmental sustainability. China's rapid economic growth had led to significant environmental challenges, including air and water pollution. Xi Jinping's vision for the future included a commitment to addressing these issues and promoting sustainable development. He introduced policies to reduce pollution and increase the use of renewable energy, with the goal of creating a cleaner and healthier environment for Chinese citizens. Xi Jinping's focus on economic development and environmental sustainability was closely linked to his ideological framework. He believed that the Communist Party should guide China's development and maintain control over key aspects of society. This ideological approach reinforced the party's role as the central authority in China, with Xi Jinping at its helm. His vision for the future relied on a strong and cohesive party, capable of leading China toward its long-term goals. The Chinese dream also had a cultural dimension. Xi Jinping promoted traditional Chinese values and sought to strengthen China's cultural identity. He believed that a strong sense of cultural heritage was essential for national unity and stability. To achieve this, he supported initiatives to promote Chinese culture, history, and language. These efforts aimed to foster a sense of pride among Chinese citizens and reinforce the idea that China's future was rooted in its rich cultural past. As Xi Jinping's vision for a new era unfolded, it had a significant impact on Chinese society. His emphasis on party discipline and ideological control led to increased regulation and censorship. The Chinese government tightened its control over the media, education, and the internet, ensuring that the party's values were upheld. While this approach was seen as necessary for maintaining stability, it also raised concerns about freedom of expression and individual rights. Xi Jinping's leadership style was characterized by his focus on stability and discipline. He believed that a strong and stable China required a unified party and a clear sense of direction. This approach resonated with many Chinese citizens who valued stability and security. However, it also drew criticism from human rights organizations and international observers who raised concerns about the suppression of dissent and the lack of political freedoms. As Xi Jinping's presidency continued, his vision for China's future faced both opportunities and challenges. The country's rapid economic growth created new opportunities for prosperity, but it also brought issues related to inequality and social mobility. Xi Jinping's emphasis on technology and innovation aimed to address these challenges, but it required careful management to ensure that the benefits of economic development were distributed equitably. Chapter 17: Xi Jinping's Legacy. As the years have passed since Xi Jinping became General Secretary of the Communist Party of China, CPC, and President of China, his legacy has taken shape, reflecting his profound influence on the country's direction and its role in global politics. This chapter explores Xi Jinping's legacy, focusing on his role in reshaping the CPC and the impact he has had on the international stage. Xi Jinping's leadership has been defined by his commitment to the Chinese dream, a vision of national rejuvenation, prosperity, and strength. This concept became the cornerstone of his presidency, guiding his policies and decisions. Xi's legacy is intertwined with this broader vision, which has aimed to inspire unity and instill a sense of pride among the Chinese people. One of Xi Jinping's most significant contributions to his legacy is his reshaping of the CPC. His anti-corruption campaign, known as the Tigers and Flies Initiative, targeted both high-ranking officials and lower-level bureaucrats, reinforcing the importance of party discipline. This campaign was not just about rooting out corruption, it was a strategic move to consolidate power and eliminate potential rivals. By removing corrupt officials, Xi Jinping tightened his grip on the party, creating a more centralized and controlled leadership structure. Xi Jinping's consolidation of power within the CPC is a key aspect of his legacy. He redefined the role of the party in China's governance, emphasizing the importance of ideological control and strict discipline. His leadership style, characterized by a focus on stability and unity, reflected his belief that a strong party was essential for China's future success. This approach to governance has had a lasting impact on the CPC, reshaping its internal dynamics and reinforcing its central role in guiding China's development. In addition to reshaping the CPC, Xi Jinping's legacy is closely tied to his impact on China's economy. His emphasis on economic reform and modernization has driven significant growth and transformation. He encouraged the development of high-tech industries and supported innovation, aiming to position China as a global leader in technology. This focus on economic growth has had a profound impact on China's global influence, as the country has become a major player in the international economy. Xi Jinping's legacy also includes his contributions to China's foreign policy. His signature initiative, the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, has expanded China's influence across Asia, Europe, and Africa. The BRI has facilitated international trade and infrastructure development, creating new opportunities for cooperation and economic growth. However, the initiative has also faced criticism and controversy, highlighting the complexities of Xi's vision for China's role in the world. Beyond the BRI, Xi Jinping's foreign policy legacy is marked by his assertive approach to international relations. He has sought to strengthen China's position on the global stage, often taking a more assertive stance in disputes like the South China Sea. This approach has sometimes led to tensions with other countries, but it reflects Xi Jinping's broader goal of establishing China as a global superpower. While Xi Jinping's legacy is marked by significant achievements, it is not without controversy. His strict approach to party discipline and ideological control has raised concerns about human rights and freedom of speech. Critics argue that his leadership style has led to increased censorship and a crackdown on dissent, limiting political freedoms and curtailing civil society. These challenges and controversies are part of Xi's legacy, illustrating the complex balance between stability and individual rights. As Xi Jinping's presidency continues, his legacy continues to evolve. His focus on the Chinese dream and the long-term goals of national rejuvenation and prosperity will likely shape China's future for years to come. However, the impact of his leadership on global politics and international relations will also play a crucial role in defining his legacy. The challenges and controversies associated with his presidency will be part of the ongoing discussion about his influence and the direction China will take in the future. In this chapter, we reflected on Xi Jinping's legacy and his influence on China's direction. His role in reshaping the CPC and his impact on global politics are central themes that have defined his presidency. While his leadership has achieved significant milestones, it has also faced criticism and controversy. As China continues to grow and evolve, Xi Jinping's legacy will remain a topic of discussion and debate, shaping the narrative of China's journey into the future.